Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and it's Friday, so it's time for fan mail. I have a letter and a box. The letter comes to, based on the stamp, looks like it's coming from a very long ways away, so let's see what we have. Afternoon, Cap. I'm sending you a letter rather than an email, which, let's face it, makes much more sense, as I shamelessly am hoping you will read it in one of your fan mail videos. Well, congratulations. But I will include my email address at the bottom for potential future correspondence. Also, you say you like to receive mail, and what better than a letter from good old Blighty, England. As a kid, I always wanted a Nerf gun, but typically my parents wouldn't get me one. Not even for birthdays or Christmas. Now, at the ripe age of 32, I am finally fulfilled my lifehood ambition after my amazing girlfriend got me an elite strong arm for Christmas last year. After seeing a video in the sidebar of YouTube by Adam Savage and watching it where he modded, I think it was a long shot or long strike, to look super awesome. Yes, I have seen it. I stumbled across your channel and have been hooked ever since. Feel free to skip this bit as I ramble a bit about my arsenal. I decided to upgrade my strong arm with an Orange Mod Works final stage kit. Also have ended up with 4 other blasters, an X-Shot Eliminator, excellent choice, to which I have done the mod you did so it fires 2 darts at once, which is super awesome by the way. But kept the spring stock as I intend to use it as a sawn-off shotgun for close range. Good point. Also, I have a Nerf Vagabond from the Doomland series, which I intend to put an axe blade under the front of the barrel. Excellent. Similar to the mod that you've done, which I'm surprised it doesn't have already, considering what Doomlands is about. That's actually very true. I thought the Doomlands really should have more cross-melee stuff, but I also want to do something with the way you load it, but I'm unsure how or what or how at this time. Thinking it needs to be brassed as well, which is the main reason why I want to change the way it's loaded. I also have a X-Shot Vigilante. Well, let's go back a bit. So, the Vagabond has that weird thing where it loads from the sides of a normally long cylinder. If you could find some way to make it rear-loaded, you might be able to do brass. Otherwise, you might actually just have a whole series of full brass breeches where you put the dart in and then you pull the brass barrel down on top of it. That would get a little complicated and take a lot of brass, but you might be able to do it. I also have an X-Shot Vigilante, double-barreled flip-down pump-action shotgun type thing, to which I intend to add a Nerf module attachment thing onto the back in some way so I can add a stock. I have a folding stock I really want to put on it. Good plan. Because the thing is way too short at the back to be able to use effectively. Yeah, that's an issue with a lot of the off-brand guns. They, for some reason, have ridiculously short stocks. Most of the Busby bolt-action guns are all too short. The Sentinel is definitely too short. Nerf has a couple that are like that too, though, so, I mean, they're meant for kids, so it makes sense, but... My 4th blaster, I'll come up to in a mo. I also have a Recon CS6 with bits waiting delivery and a bundle of another 5 or so blasters en route for cutting up and or hopefully selling on for some funds for more mods. eBay is a beautiful thing. I have a vague idea of a paint scheme involving red, blue, and metal colors. Ooh, that would look pretty. I also managed to get a mate into nerfing, and hopefully after some sessions upgrading our blasters, we will take part in some wars. Well, good luck with that, yeah. So to the actual main reason for this letter, my 4th blaster is a Lanard Huntsman 50. I never really hear you mention Lanard, if at all, which is a shame because Lanard has some really cool guns. They do. I have a couple. I've got the Lanard Triple Shot, which is one of my favorites. I have 2 of the Lanard Scatter Blasts, which are their grenades, which are really cool. But the Huntsman is quality C Figure 1. It looks mean, and in tests and reviews I've seen read, it is as good as a long strike in performance with maybe a little more jamming and slightly weak priming mechanism handle arm than it should have. But it looks better with only one downside being it doesn't take Nerf clips. Anyway, I really want to make one look similar to the Barrett M82A1. See Figure 2. My favorite sniper rifle when in the video games, mainly because it looks badass and as powerful as, yeah. As capable as I am, the mods I want and would need to do for this to happen, I feel, are out of my capabilities. After taking it apart and seeing the mechanism, I don't have a whole lot of free time for such a large project. I assume it will take a while to do. So I know you are busy with your other commissions and stuff, but I'm hoping I'll be able to send a huntsman to you to see if you could use your expertise to mod it for me. Obviously, I'd pay for whatever needs to be paid for, and I'd send another marksman to you to do with as you wish, maybe a K-26 episode, or an epic Captain Xavier mod. If this is something you'd be willing to take on, like I said above, I've included my email, so we can work out details or times, shipping, and finer details of the mod, etc. I hope this letter finds you well. Keep on nerfing, making awesome videos and mods. Ben Gaines, aka Gainesy. P.S. Could you please do a video on brassing? I get the concept, but I'm not 100% on how best to do it with different types of blasters, barrels, i.e. blasters with clips or blasters like the strong arm, etc. P.P.S. I saw your shop video after writing this, so I'll wait before bothering you with emails about it. Okay, so yes, I have seen the Huntsman. I know the curator has one. I think I actually saw one at Goodwill recently and passed it up because it didn't have the barrel or the magazine. So, and since it's a proprietary magazine, like you said, it's not terribly useful. Bullpupping it would be a beast. I can think of a number of ways that making a bullpup sniper rifle would be a whole lot easier than trying to do it with this particular blaster. The fact that it's bolt action is handy though, but I mean, the bolt isn't anywhere near where it needs to be. We will discuss it. We might be able to come up with something. If nothing else, I'm sure I can come up with something that would in fact resemble this blaster, or this gun. Something could be come up with. It'd be an awful lot easier for me to build one of these from stuff I've already got and send it to you rather than you shipping me something all the way from England and back, because it's expensive to ship things across that pond. So if we end up shipping stuff only one direction, that would be better. But we can definitely discuss it. As for brassing, I do have a couple of videos on how to brass single shot guns. I tried brassing a revolver once and it didn't work out well. You can brass them, but the issue is that I found is unless you can get a really powerful spring in it, the brass ends up creating a tighter seal on the dart than the cylinder has to the piston, and therefore when you fire it, all the air just shoots out the side rather than actually firing the dart, or if it does, it doesn't fire it very far. Brassing magazine-fed blasters is a whole different ball of wax, and there's two different ways to do it. The easy way is just brassing the bolt, the stock bolt, just putting brass in it so it's a tighter seal, which does the same thing as brassing any single-shot blaster. And it works because the bolt is connected directly to the piston. The other thing that you can do, once again, if you can put a strong enough spring into it so you can get enough power, you can do a full brass breech, kind of like the attachment that I made for Ire, where it's one piece of brass sliding inside another piece of brass, and you replace the entire bolt with that, which then creates a sealed breech, which has a whole lot more power. But once again, you have to have the gun powerful enough to actually get it out of the barrel, or it'll just get stuck. So, yes, I've got your email. I'll be contacting you, or you can contact me if I don't get to you in a while. So, yes, thank you for the letter. Glad you finally got into nerfing after all these years, and I'm glad you found a friend who's also into it. That's the big thing, is finding other people to nerf with, which I'm very fortunate in the group of guys that I've got to work with, that we do mod parties and go to wars together and bounce ideas off of each other and help each other out. It's really, it makes the whole thing so much better. So, alright. Yes, get in touch with me. Let's see what the package is. This package comes to me from my patron, and I'm going to try to make sure that it's actually in frame this time. Let's see here. Are we in frame? Are we in some kind of frame? We are. Okay. So, he has sent me another box of goodies, which is fairly decent timing, as I've almost finished all of my backlog of commissions and will be able to start on his arsenal very, very soon. Let's see what he has sent me. Well, we've got a dual strike. Very cool. These are fun to put K26 in, and you can do all sorts of fun stuff with the barrels. You can brass them, you can single them, you can do all sorts of cool stuff. So that is a fun one. Oh, we got a letter. Apparently, he sent me a bunch of stickers. Chaylo, still more things. This strife stopped working after day 3. It's wired for 2S LiPo with a JST connector. Scrap that and rewire for 3S, please, as I have more of those, along with repaint for my theme. The rest is probably get added to the list. I foresee pass for 2 tyrants. I thought about adding a nitron or 2, but I'll leave those for a while. Don't want to lock up your shop more than I already. Hope you like the sweets and toys. Thanks again. Best regards, Jomo. We've got a couple of 6-round magazines. He emailed me and said that these are for me if I want them, which I'll add them to the bin. Alright, what do we got here? We have a Lawbringer. I can't imagine what he wants done with this. Possibly the minimized pistol build. That's a very popular one. Maybe he just wants it generally upgraded. Probably painted, obviously. He wants everything painted in his color. I'll have to discuss that with him. Looks like we've got a Tyrant not in box. This must be the Strife. Oh, I look forward to opening that up. I'll get to that later then. We've got a couple of turtles. I love turtles. Turtles are awesome. And what do we have in this bag? Bag of goodies. We've got trail mix. Cool. Butterfinger peanut butter cups. Reese's patent must have finally run out. Butterfingers. Never been a huge fan of Butterfingers, but I'm sure I know people who are. And a Baby Ruth, which I am a fan of. And I love peanut butter cups, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to compare those to Reese's and see which I prefer. Definitely love me some turtles. That is strange. Well, that's just disturbing. And a couple of Tyrants. But they had ones that came with... Oh, this... Okay. Oh, this is the magazine from the one that didn't have a magazine, but it does have a magazine. So, we've got a pair of Tyrants and magazines, which are cool. Oh, PAS, Pump Action Shotgun. Yeah. I haven't actually done that with a boss yet, or with a Tyrant, because it's really big, but I imagine it can be done. Gift, I hope you like. What is it? Well, that's a bunch of Legos. There's no instructions. Is this one of those spinner toys? Oh, I think it is. I'm not sure entirely what this is, but I do know that it is absolutely cool. I'm gonna have to... I need to know what this is. I mean, it's metal, but it looks like it's Lego compatible. Like it's one of those fidget spinner things. That is super cool, Jomo. That is super cool. These are actual Lego. These are. But they came in their own little bag. I'm terribly curious what all this is supposed to build onto here. Because there's no instructions. Super cool! Super cool! Alright, let's take a look at this Dead Strike. Ooh. Okay, that. Now that is just pretty. 3D printed folding stock. Extended mag release, top rail, 3D printed front. It's got red and green. Doesn't actually magnify, but it sure looks neat. Thumb screw. Well, I wonder what on earth went wrong with it. Gosh, that is a pretty paint job. Doesn't look like it's jammed, so could be a switch burnt out, could be the motor's burnt out, could be a solder went bad. Don't know, but that is real pretty, and I'm looking forward to taking that apart and figuring out what's wrong with it. So, there you have it. There's the latest stack of stuff from Jomo. Looking forward to starting in on his whole arsenal. Like I said, I've not opened up commissions again yet because I want to get some of Jomo's stuff built first, and I've got a couple of projects of my own that I want to get done first. I do have my shop reorganized now. I'm in the process of doing the full inventory to figure out what exactly I have, and surplus stuff I will be putting on my Etsy page. Most of that will be simple, single shot guns that I can easily modify and get built and shipped really quickly. Other stuff, if I just decide I don't need 10 barricades, I might just put barricades up on Etsy to sell for, less than they would be new, but, I don't want to lose money. Once I do finally open up commissions again, I will let you all know. My email address and my P.O. box are in the description of all my videos, so if you want to send me a letter, that's fabulous. I love getting letters, even if it's just to say hello. And if you want to contact me via email to discuss stuff, that's fine. Not taking commissions, but we can discuss other things, ideas, suggestions, whatever. If you have any comments, suggestions, ideas, things you want to see in future episodes, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching.